Your mother's not coming in, Jimmy?
Who knows?
Well, did she say anything to you?
Nothing. Grandma, I know I'm still a little young yet, but wouldn't you say I'm pretty grown up for my age?
Oh, very. What's troubling you, son?
Well, if I ask you a question, will you promise to be straight with me?
I'll try, honey.
Well, Mom and Dad are getting a divorce, aren't they?
Well, let me tell you, it's the last time they're going to pull this little trick on me. After my memo, that should put an end to the whole thing.
Don't count on it.
Right, please let me live with my delusions just for a couple of hours.
Vicki, did I tell you that I finally wrote to my son?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I hope so. It was probably one of the most difficult things I ever had to do. Of course, I had a little help.
Yeah?
I had the words all as my own, but Lori was the one that helped me realize there is nothing wrong with telling someone your true feelings. In fact, what's wrong is not sharing them in the first place. You know, especially to a little child who just wants to hear those things so desperately. And I'm very sorry.
There's no need to apologize. Miriam, I'm glad for you.
Really? Thank you. Well, I just hope those words are well received now.
I don't see why they wouldn't be. Could I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Well, if it's too embarrassing, just say so.
It's pretty hard to be embarrassed when you've gone through all that I have.
Okay. Well, about you and your husband, I mean, how...
How did I destroy my own marriage?
I didn't mean it like that.
No, it's all right. I know you didn't. But the truth of the matter is, that's exactly what I did.
Like I said, if you don't want to talk about it, that's okay.
All right. I met Paul when I was in college. He was one of my professors. And to this day, I can't remember what the course was that I took from him. All I knew that he was simply the handsomest member of the faculty, and boy, I was out to seduce him.
Well, did you?
Not until our wedding night. He just refused to take notice of me, and of course that made me want to pursue him all the more.
I've been there.
And somehow, in all that pursuing, I managed to convince myself that he was the only man for me. You know, I realize now that the problem was that he was the only man that didn't think I was worth pursuing.
Well, how did you convince him that you were?
I have no idea. There's some areas of Paul that I never could figure out. Somehow I did convince him. In the meantime, I convinced myself that being the wife of a college professor in a small town was really what I wanted, too.
Was your father one of these who objected?
Yes, he was.
What did he do, disinherit you?
No. No, it was really quite the opposite. He took every opportunity he could just to pour all of this money on me, just to remind me of how things used to be. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I gave in, and I made him concoct a scheme to get me out of the marriage, get a divorce, get custody of Frederick.
Oh, I guess things didn't quite work out that way, huh?
No, they certainly didn't. How about you? Have you ever been married?
Just engaged, but that's over. My fiancé called it off last week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. The guy he called it off, I could care less. But I intend to get even.
Is this Gil?
He made a fool of me.
Vicky, revenge, there's no way that that's going to work. I'm proof of that. If anything, you'll end up looking foolish in the end.
Well, in this case, I think it's worth the chance.
Vicky, I really wouldn't recommend it. I mean, I'm living proof.
Hey there, ladies.
Hi.
Hello, Jean.
Hey. Say, Vicky, could you pull this file for me? There's some things I'd like to check, please.
Sure. Now you ought to be more careful with who you let your wife go out with.
What was that again?
Oh, you know, I saw Leon and her at the Castaway Bar the other night.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Sweetheart, your mother and father love each other very much. Right now, they're just a little confused. And they're still working at the way things in their marriage should be.
But I thought they already did that.
Oh, yes, but you have to keep working at a marriage. You just don't sit down and just decide a few things.
Well, then why do people take marriage vows and go before a preacher and everything?
Well, that's because God invented marriage, honey. But you know, the devil has a way of just coming in between folks and... Jimmy, honey, I know all of this is not very easy for you, sweetheart.
Yeah, well, what if they decide that they can't work things out? They're not going to, are they?
Honey, I know things kind of look bad on the outside, honey, but we just gotta keep praying and have faith that your parents will come to their senses. It worked before.
Right.
It did, Jimmy. It did. And that's why I want to tell you. Your folks still love one another. It's just that sometimes adults have these things that they just keep inside themselves. Things that they just should throw off. You understand that, don't you, honey?
No.
Well, you will someday, honey. You're young yet.
I'm never getting married, Grandma.
Oh, you will. You'll change your tune.
I'm serious. Being married means being unhappy, and I'm tired of being unhappy.
Oh, Jimmy, baby.
No, Grandma, you said you'd be straight with me.
But I have been.
No, Grandma. I know the real reason why Mom and Dad are splitting up again.
Well, why?
It's because of me and something that I've done.
Oh, no, Jimmy.
Yes, it is. All that other stuff doesn't make any sense. I'm just getting in the way.
Did you talk to them?
Yes, that's why I didn't even think twice about it. I was just teasing you, honest.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry I said anything.
No, I'm glad that you did, Vicky.
Yeah, but it looks as if for the wrong reasons. I'm sorry. That's it, okay? My lips are sealed.
As usual, seems to be perfect timing again.
Why?
Well, Jason Prescott has decided not to run for re-election.
And that means you'd be out of a job?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, Jean, that's terrible.
Well, I wasn't exactly overjoyed when he told me about it.
Jean, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem. I mean, you know, that's the nature of this political business, you know, occupational hazard.
Well, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Well, you know, I've been through this before. In fact, I think it was this year I had your job when I got fired from WRD.
And I got your job because you were promoted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, hey, don't worry about it. I mean, I knew what the risks were when I accepted, but even if Jason hadn't been reelected, I mean, I'd still be in the same position.
Oh, as if there was any chance of that.
Oh, well.
You know what, Jane? I would be more than glad to let you have your job back after all you and your mother have done for me. That is the least I can do
Mary,
for you.
Please. Hey, I'll be fine.
Yeah, but you have a family to support.
Yeah, maybe. You know what I was thinking? I'd like to go back into reporting.
TV reporting?
Maybe, or a newspaper. I mean, that's where my heart really is. But, I don't know. Oh, I'll give Sarah a call this afternoon.
Okay. Listen, Jean, I know everyone says this, but if there's anything I can do, will you call me, please?
Thanks, lady. Well, folks, I gotta get out of here.
You know what, Jean?
Yeah.
Your mother said something to me once. It might help.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She said something like, whenever the Lord says no to something, it's because he wants to say yes to something better.
Mom said that, huh?
Yeah.
It seems like I'm always hearing the no's.
It's a good idea you had to have lunch here instead of at the Greenbrier. Why don't you do this more often?
Well, since I'm soon to be a lady of leisure, we just might. Maybe I'll open a catering business, and I'll pack gourmet box lunches for hospital employees who are disillusioned with cafeteria food.
Believe me, you'll be swamped.
2 more nights.
Until the hallowed halls of Monroe Continuation School see you no more.
Yes.
Would you like to know how many more hours and minutes?
No.
I just hope it's as uneventful as it has been lately.
Amen. Maybe even more so.
Well, I have every confidence that it will be. Oh, did I tell you about my new job?
No.
What, you're serious about the gourmet lunches?
No. I'm going to be the receptionist for a brilliant young doctor who's opening a clinic.
Oh?
Well, you did offer once.
Once. I take it back.
Why?
Do you really have to ask?
Ben, you just can't keep me cooped up in this apartment like some knick-knack or something.
Look, I'm not asking you to do that, and you know it.
May I make a request that you two continue this discussion at another time, preferably when I'm out of the country?
I'm not through yet, you know.
Yeah, somehow I guessed that.
I saw that. Hello.
Hi. Oh, I guess you're not free for lunch today.
No, we just ate, but I'm free the rest of the afternoon.
Hi.
Hi, Ben. Mrs. Davidson.
Mary Ann, how are things going for you?
Well, our family has been in a bit of an uproar these days. I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on, Marianne?
Oh, nothing. Dad is just leaving town, and I'm afraid your mother has a great deal to do with it.
Jimmy, you and your grandma have a good lunch?
It was all right.
Oh, just all right, honey. Is that why you ate 2.5 helpings?
Hi.
Thanks, Grandma. It was real good.
Oh, my pleasure, honey.
Yes, thank you. And come on in and have a sit for a while.
Well, are you up to it?
Of course. Why do you say that?
Well, I know you weren't too eager for a visit when you brought Jimmy by here a little earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have come in.
Carla, my bark is worse than my bite if that's what's making you afraid.
That's not it, and you know it. I just didn't feel like answering a lot of questions this morning.
Well, in the mood or not, those questions have to be answered. Jimmy, honey, would you want to run out and get your grandma a nice tall glass of ice water?
Sure. How about you, Mom?
No thanks, honey.
Carla, I want you to know I spent the better portion of my visit with Jimmy trying to convince that boy that he wasn't the reason for his parents fighting.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, and as a result, I think he probably thinks I'm lying to him, too.
I'm sorry.
Well, sorry just ain't gonna cut it, Carla.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Be honest with the boy.
How? How do you tell your son that his mother and father are having problems in the bedroom?
Well, you don't, honey. He doesn't want a detailed account. He's scared. He just wants some reassurance that he's loved and needed.
You're right. But how?
Well, for starters, he deserves some straight answers to the questions he's been asking.
Oh, Lord, help me.
Oh, he will, Carla, honey, he will.
Sorry. I hope you don't mind, but we only had one ice cube left.
One ice cube? Well, where is it?
Well, I think it already melted. Were you just talking about me?
Yes.
Well, what did you decide?
That you were a pretty nice kid.
Oh, are we still going to Lake Tahoe?
Yeah.
With Dad?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. No, I don't think he's gonna be making it, Jimmy.
Well, if just you and I go, then we're not coming back, are we?
It's open.
Dad!
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Fine, we were just talking about you.
Oh, yeah?
Jimmy, maybe your dad would like something cold to drink.
No, thanks. That's fine. I'll tell you what I would like, though. I'd like to talk to your mom alone. You think you could find something to do for a little while there?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I guess that goes for me, too.
Thanks, Mama. Marianne, come on, sit down.
I'm sorry. Mrs. Davidson, please tell me just what happened between you and my father.
Mary Ann.
No, I'd really like to know.
Come on.
What it comes down to is that your father and I were at very different levels emotionally.
He's a very nice man, Mrs. Davidson.
Mary Ann, I've never thought otherwise. We've had our disagreements, but I've always had a very high opinion of him.
Well, he likes you very much. You know that.
I know, but that's part of the problem. At least we're coming away from this as friends.
But admit it. It was more than just a friendship.
Yes, but only very briefly. You see, I realize that I am just not prepared to handle that kind of relationship. Not right now. Not just with your father, but with any man. So you see, it has nothing to do with him personally.
Well, I don't see Alex Greeley leaving town.
Now, that's not fair, Mary
Neither
Ann.
is what you did. You let him on, and then you just turn around and say no to him.
You're talking as if he's blameless in this entire situation.
No, he is not blameless. But how can you expect him to turn his emotions on and off like a faucet? You hurt him.
I've always tried to be candid about my feelings with him. It should have been no surprise to him when I finally said no.
But don't you see? He invested more emotionally than you did. But obviously, you just haven't taken that into consideration.
I have. I have tried to ease out of it as gently as I could. But in this case, it was your father who was complicating matters. Well, I think he finally realized it, and he chose the best course of action for him.
Best for whom? Our families? The communities?
I'm sorry.
Mrs. Davidson, please convince him not to leave.
No, he'd only interpret it the wrong way.
You don't know that.
Mary Ann, I'm sorry, but I can't take that chance. Now, if you really feel that he's made the wrong decision, try talking to him again.
Oh, you don't understand. He won't listen to me. I don't know what else I'm going to do. I've already lost my mother, and now I'm almost going to lose my father over something so foolish. I'm sorry.
Mary Ann, don't go.
No, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Well, if anybody deserves the credit, it's you.
No, you're too modest.
No, I mean it. I would never have had the idea to even look into the matter if I hadn't come across that report of yours on reducing food costs.
Well, my goodness, where did you come on that one?
I make it a point to always know my superiors. By recommending cheaper cuts of meat and introducing vegetable protein, you saved Kingsley General a whole lot more than I did.
That was a remarkable saving. And improved the quality of the cafeteria food in the process, if you ask me.
So any praise that comes to me is just a reflection on you, sir.
Well, of course, there have been these numerous complaints about your gruff treatment of the hospital staff.
Now...
Oh, but why worry about anything as minor as that? You know, believe it or not, I was once the object of the same criticism myself. No. I believe in cultivating industriousness, not in kowtowing to all these intramural jealousies.
Well, thank you.
Come in.
Russ?
Mary Ann. Mr. Lewis, you know Mary Ann Prescott, don't you?
Of course. I know, you know. If you will excuse me now, I'm sorry, but I'm late for a luncheon date. And, Russ, I'll be gone for a few hours, so hold the fort.
You got it. What is wrong? You look like you just lost your best friend.
It hasn't been the best of days.
Well, you came to the right place to be cheered up.
I don't know if that's possible at this point.
It is if you listen to Dr. Feelgood's advice.
Dr. Feelgood, alias Russ Weaver, I presume.
Exactamundo. See, look, it's working already. You know how we start out? How about lunch?
I don't know.
Come on, I don't want to hear any arguments.
Well, all right.
Okay. What started all this anyway, huh?
Oh, Carrie Davidson mostly.
Yeah, she seems to be the root of a lot of troubles these days.
Please, sit down.
That's okay.
Oh, I see. It's one of those visits.
Yeah.
All right. What is it now?
I talked with Vicky this morning,
And?
and she told me what you did the other evening.
Which was?
Oh, come off of it, Carla. The Castaway Bar, does that ring a bell to you?
Oh, I was there with Leon. What's so wrong with that?
Oh, so at least you have sense enough not to deny it.
Well, there's nothing to deny. What's so wrong with it?
A married woman out with another man, you tell me what's wrong with it.
A married woman out with a friend. There would never be anything between Leon and me, and you know it.
That's beside the point.
Well, it sure sounds like that's the point to me.
The point is that I tried to call you. I tried to call you to tell you that I missed you and everything and want to talk things out, only you're out with another man.
And I wanted you to call, and when you didn't, Leon asked me to dinner, and I accepted. Now, what's wrong with that?
Boy, if that isn't your philosophy of life in a nutshell, I don't know what is, Carla. You know, you're never happy with anything. You're always looking for something else.
That's not true.
It is true. You've made up your mind that I'm not good enough for you, and you're trying to prove that to yourself.
Don't you think that it just might be the other way around? That you're looking for an excuse. You're always looking for an excuse to dump on me.
Oh, forget it.
All right, that's it. Just walk out. That's your solution to everything. For once, why don't you just stand still and work things out?
So, here we are, right back we started from. What's the verdict?
On what?
On whether I did what I promised or not. Did I cheer you up?
Yeah, I feel better. I just wish there was some way to convince my father to stay.
I'll give the matter some consideration.
Thank you.
Now for the piece de resistance.
And what is that?
That.
That's nice.
Yeah?
Only I better get going. I don't want to keep you from work.
No. Don't worry about that. You heard what Lester said. He won't be back for several hours.
Yeah.
Besides, even if he did come back, it wouldn't make any difference. See this little finger? I got him wrapped right around it.
Really?
He's just a lot of hot air and fluff. I do all the work around here.